Lots of TikTok users are moving to a Chinese social media platform in protest of a possible TikTok ban. And it's certainly very interesting because this is very unprecedented. Why is everybody moving to this platform that is most certainly more oriented towards a Chinese user base than an American user base? We're going to be talking about it in today's video. Okay, so we're going to start off with this article by the Associated Press. US TikTok users flock the Chinese app Xiaohongshu in protest with TikTok ban looming. Now, if you're not already aware, TikTok might be going bye-bye in the US soon. And without getting too deep into the subject, because it is a very loaded subject, long story short, the Supreme Court in the United States seems likely to uphold a law that could be banning TikTok in the US. Basically, the current scenario is that the federal government is saying, hey, TikTok, we don't really like the fact that you have such a large user base in the US, but you're a Chinese-based company. We think that you could be doing some weird government-y stuff. So we don't want you to do this anymore. You should sell TikTok to a United States company, you need to divest, or you're not going to be able to operate in the US anymore. We are going to ban you. That is the long story short of the situation. And if the law is upheld, then TikTok could very well be banned. Now, in protest, some, and when I say some, I actually mean a lot, of people are moving to a social media app called Xiaohongshu. Now, this app has also been referred to as either Little Red Book or RedNote, but for this video, for the sake of clarity, I'm going to be referring to it by its actual name, which is Xiaohongshu. So, this platform has gotten really big in the US, so big that it is currently #1 on the App Store. #1. I have to be clear to you, this is on the Apple App Store, and the Apple App Store is one of the biggest app stores on phones right now. For reference, iOS has the market dominance versus Android currently. So that puts it into perspective how many people must be downloading the app on their phones if it is #1. It is a big, big deal. It's also #2 in Canada right now. So it's not just a US thing, it's also a bit of Canada thing at the moment. It has gotten really, really big. And some of this is in response to the political thing going on with the US Supreme Court that's ruling on the law that stipulates TikTok must be divested from its Chinese parent company ByteDance by January 19th or face a ban. This all started in a more political sense, in a more activism kind of a, hey, screw you government, we're going to go ahead and move to an even more Chinese app just to spite you. That's how it all started. For the most part, that's the reason this whole thing started. But people are sticking to this app because they actually like it. It's not even a fad. People actually like this app, and for the most part, I can kind of see why. Even if it is more geared towards a Chinese audience, I can kind of see why people like the app. For what it's worth, the interactions they're having right now with this like very merged diaspora, namely because these are two very different audiences, the interactions they're having right now have been very wholesome for what it's worth. There have been many memes that have racked up from these interactions. There have been people who've been helping each other with their English homework and stuff. There's all kinds of things going on right now, and for what it's worth, it seems to be quite cool. Like, for example, there's people who are admiring each other's makeup from the different cultures. There have been memes that have been started spreading around. There have been people helping each other with their English homework. All kinds of different things have been happening. So while this started from a hey, we want to do some political activism, this is also just kind of turned into a, man, these people are friendlier than Western social media. Let's move there because these people are nicer and friendlier and the community is just better. Which, mind you, I think says a little something about like Western social media at the moment. If everybody's moving to a completely different countries and cultures social media just because it's nicer, I think that says something about our social media. But I digress. Point being, it's gotten really, really popular. But of course, as with everything, there are some downsides, and we're going to go ahead and get into those. Okay, so let's say you do want to go ahead and get this new platform, Xiaohongshu. Let's say you want to go ahead and try it. First of all, one thing you're going to need to keep in mind is the fact that fundamentally, it's not for you. it was never made for you. It's never been made for an international audience. It's made for people who can, it's made for the Chinese audience. Bottom line, if you want to interact with the platform, you're probably going to need to learn some Mandarin anyways. You're going to need to learn a little bit at the bare minimum. Furthermore, there's some things you're not going to be able to bring up. There are some political subjects you're not going to be able to bring up, especially regarding the Chinese government. You want to keep that in mind. The freedom of expression you have in the US and other countries is not the same as in China, so you are going to be more freely censored. You're not going to be able to speak your entire mind. So if that's something you do care about, it's not for you. Furthermore, if you're one of those people who really care about data privacy, then you probably don't want this for the same reasons that you wouldn't want to get Temu or just frankly any social media platform. Your data is going to be sold, you are going to be tracked, all of these things are going to happen. Now, as to whether or not you actually really care about that or should care about that, that's up to you. But if you do, no, you shouldn't get this platform. And furthermore, if you're at all worried about exercising either your California data privacy rights or your European Union data privacy rights, you are not going to be able to do either because your data is not being processed anywhere near the West. Your data is being processed in China, full stop. So you aren't going to be able to exercise any of your data privacy rights in those countries. So you want to keep that in mind as well. But if you want to join, apparently it's somewhat wholesome for the most part, which I find quite interesting, and I do think that says a little something. It says something about our social media at the moment and the way everything's working over here. But one thing I do have to wonder is if expression were a little bit more free, would it be a scenario of, would the platform still be wholesome, or would it be just like us? Because for what it's worth, it's not only just the fact that it's wholesome, but it's more so the fact that the rules of the platform also stipulate the fact that you just can't be negative. It is a very more sunshine and rainbows oriented platform than it is a you can do as you please. If you have criticisms, you can get banned in some regards. So again, keep that in mind. If you like internet beefing, it's not for you. But if you want something more chill, apparently it's not that bad. So it's a very interesting thing. I figured I'd cover it. So yeah, that's about it for right now. Now, as for whether or not this trend is actually going to stick, only time will tell, and even then, this could also very well be banned in the US. Who knows? Again, time will just have to tell. But in any case, thank you for watching my video. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to learn more, or watch more rather. You can click any one of my videos over there. Thank you guys for watching. Take care. Stay safe out there.